Welcome to this presentation on club licensing. Let's get right into it. This presentation will cover the Ontario implementation of the Canada Soccer Club Licensing Program. We will take you through the program overview, the categories and benefits, the application process and timelines, as well as resources. The Canada Soccer Club Licensing Program is designed to guide member organizations throughout the country toward best principles for organizational development, both on and off the field. Member organizations play an essential role in the development of players, coaches, and match officials. They are both the daily playing environment and the primary contact for participants. The underlying philosophy is to take high standards to best principles. Many existing club charter or standards-based programs, for example, the Club Excellence Program, provided a guide to Canada Soccer for the development of the national standards. By consolidating these programs, along with those of Canada Soccer's governing bodies, CONCACAF and FIFA, it is envisioned that the Canada Soccer Club Licensing Program is vertically aligned from FIFA through Ontario Soccer and integrates best principles from several sources to create a standard that is both high quality and recognizes the unique Canadian soccer landscape. By raising the standards of member organizations, both the daily playing environment and participant experience are enhanced, thereby improving the overall in Canada. The soccer club is defined as any organization that is a member of Canada Soccer that registers its members and delivers soccer programming, not for profit or a private organization. That's right, this program is inclusive of every organization that delivers soccer programming to its participants. The primary goals of the club licensing program are to set clearly defined standards, to recognize excellence, raise the level of soccer organizations across Canada, and drive change. Organizations will develop and select the methods by which they operate based on available resources and their unique situation and context. This principles-based approach provides direction, not prescription. We're looking to inform choices, establish impacts, and drive outcomes. These are the 7 club licensing principles. Prioritize fun, emphasize physical, mental, and emotional safety, provide developmentally appropriate, high-quality programs, maximize attraction, holistic personal development, progression, and long-term engagement, focus on participant-centered decision-making, foster accessible, inclusive, and welcome environments, act as a good corporate and community citizen. To achieve the goals and align to the principles, the club licensing program requires a broader scope than simply classifying organizations into different categories. Beyond classification, which is a traditional staple of licensing in charter programs, the club licensing program also includes elements of development and appraisal. This summary table helps quickly detail the 4 levels or categories of the club licensing program. They are not organized into a hierarchy or a pyramid structure because one is not meant to be inferior than the other. Every club fits into the program at some level. Timing and resources will determine the level of which a club would qualify or be eligible. With time, ideally most organizations will be well on their way toward being recognized as a National Youth Club license holder. The National Youth Club license clubs are identified as the top achiever organizations from across the country. They'll receive Canada Soccer's Youth Soccer Club endorsement and associated MLS homegrown player benefits. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with the homegrown player rule, essentially this rule allows MLS teams to sign local players from their own development academies directly to the MLS first team rosters. Before the creation of this rule in 2008, every player entering the MLS would have to be assigned through one of the existing MLS allocation processes, such as the MLS Superdraft. Before the rule was created, it was extremely difficult for Canadian players to be drafted into the MLS because they were considered international players. Receiving the homegrown player status means Canadian players would be considered local players for those MLS franchises in the USA. In addition to these requirements, the National Youth Club license holders will be required to participate in the Canada Soccer Player Development Program. The provincial Level 2 Youth Club license will be organizations that are committed to achieving the highest expectations of the grassroots community. The Provincial Youth Club License Level 2 will be organizations that are committed to achieving the highest expectations of the grassroots, community, and competitive streams, and targets those with aspirations of moving in the development or performance stream. The Provincial Youth Club License Level 1 will be organizations that are recognized as high-quality grassroots community and competitive organizations. Both these levels are, of course, aligned to the provincial and national pathway. The quality soccer provider is an expectation of every member organization. It is likely that you are currently meeting all of these standards within your organization at this time. It was designed and built to be inclusive. Every club and academy is expected to meet these minimum standards. The expectation is that all members will provide a developmentally appropriate, safe, enjoyable, accessible, inclusive, and welcoming playing environment for their participants, which reaches not only players, but coaches, match officials, administrators, and parents. The club licensing program benefits are reward, recognition, differentiation, and access to competition. These will be more clearly defined with time. Right now, the only access to competition that is a requirement is for National Youth Club license holders who are asked to meet and adhere to the standards of the Ontario Player Development League. One of the benefits of coming into the program, let's say at the most entry level, quality soccer provider, is that you work closely and collaborate with Ontario soccer staff toward the development and improvement of your policies, procedures, technical documentation, and the implementation of these improvements onto the field level. For the 2019 application cycle, the letters of submission were due by March 22nd, 2019. From there, an application portal was shared and the application process began. Applicants have until April 30th, 2019 to make their submissions on the categories for the license level they're applying for. Submissions are expected by the end of April, and then a review process with a panel of specialists from Ontario Soccer will review the categories that are relative to their field. For example, as a regional manager, I will look at and review the technical and sporting component within some of the applications that are submitted. Successful organizations are going to be announced in August of this year, and we're looking to reopen the application cycle for 2020 in August 2019 as well. Here's a better look at the application process and timelines for 2018-19. The objective appraisal is a data-based appraisal conducted by a panel of specialists that will review and determine the level and quality of your club's submissions. The self-appraisal gives clubs the opportunity to reflect on the things that the organization did and does well, and those that can be improved, and the learnings from the appraisal period. The bottom-up appraisal is the appraisal of the members, stakeholders, and customer satisfaction surveys. The peer-to-peer appraisal is the appraisal of horizontal alignment as well as an organization's commitment to collaboration and the overall sense and health of the soccer community. With this 360-degree appraisal, a more detailed review of an organization is possible. For 360 appraisal to be effective, it is important for time to be spent on moving through the process of building awareness, educating the community, having buy-in and support within all levels of the soccer system. An important aspect of this process is to ensure the performance indicators, quantifiable measures used to evaluate the success of an organization are fair, accepted, and accurate. After an organization is granted a license, the appraisal process becomes the means by which continued adherence to the standards and ongoing alignment and contribution to the overall soccer system can be measured. We've made a list of resources available for our membership. If you visit ontariosoccer.net, you'll find the Grassroots tab. Hover over that and select Club Development. You'll then find the Club Licensing link. Follow that link and there will be a general info page on the Canada Soccer Club Licensing Program. That page offers a ton of resources for you to be able to utilize in advance of and during your application process. I want to highlight the eligibility quiz, which is a means to determine whether or not you're eligible for the level that you're interested in applying for. It will help guide and direct you for the most appropriate level at this time for your organization. The criteria page is also set up to assist you in understanding the different criteria that is required at the different levels. Furthermore, there's a useful links, forms, and FAQs section where you can gather really helpful links and forms and information for your application process. I encourage you to follow us on Twitter at OntarioIsSoccer, as well as visit canadasoccer.com for additional resources. I just want to highlight the fact that with Provincial Level 1 and Provincial Level 2, Ontario is encouraged to customize their own criteria. So I would encourage you to use the information on ontariosoccer.net versus the information on canadasoccer.com, but I would encourage you to just continue to use canadasoccer.com in terms of resources and to keep up to date. Thank you for your time, and I wish you the best of luck in your application process. I really look forward to working with you. Email me if you have any questions, gtricolo@ontariosoccer.net. My contact information can be found on the ontariosoccer.net website, and you may contact us directly by telephone at 905-264-9390. My extension is 809, and I would be ready and willing and happy to help you with any club licensing questions. Best of luck and speak soon.